Hi guys, today we are talking about what is going to be in our morning menus for this 2025-2026 homeschool year. I'm going to kind of give you an idea of how I organize it and what we're actually planning to cover for the rest of the school year. Because this year I decided to plan a little different and I'm going to share about that. So let's get started. So I have more in-depth videos about what is a morning menu and why you might want to consider doing it. But in a very quick nutshell, a morning menu is kind of a substitute for something like a morning basket that you probably have heard a little bit about. It's the idea of you all gathering together as a family to go through shared material is essentially the idea. And with it is that connection point, or that idea of putting those things that are most important in your family in front of you at the beginning of the day. One of the ways I make this incredibly manageable for myself as a homeschool mom of 6 kids and so many different things going on at one time is that I have certain pages in my morning menus that are set. They do not change. They are the same all year round. And then I just have 4 different pages that I rotate out each month that fall into a specific category. So I also don't have to sit there and think through, what do I want to put in my morning menu this particular month? This year, I decided to do things a little bit different, and I went ahead and printed out all of our morning menus for August, for September, October, November, and December. My plan then is to go back to this print out from January to May during our Christmas break. But this makes it easier for me to be able to switch these out, or I could even ask one of my older kids to help me with switching them out. And I got these really awesome pouches that go into a binder here, and then they're just Velcro on the top so that I can keep all of those printouts nice and organized. And then I have it labeled by month on the top, and this goes in my teacher binder. So what are my standing pages? What are those pages that do not change throughout the year? The first is the cover. I actually have a couple of different cover options I've used in the past. I currently use the learning menu one because I have kiddos that sometimes get stuck on the fact that my original one said morning menu, and sometimes we do it in the morning and sometimes we do it at lunchtime. We always shoot for first thing in the morning, but that's not always the case. So depending on your personal preference, pick which one you like and stick with that cover for the rest of the year. The second thing that stays the same throughout the year is our family reminders. So every year I kind of think about, pray about, talk to my husband about what are some of the things that we need to be reminded of as a family? What are some things that we kind of want to focus on for this year? And then through that conversation and through that prayer, I then take the time to make up different family reminder charts. There have been times where it's been something that, like a poem that we've memorized that have helped us remember something. Other times where it's been a selection of verses or even just little phrases that we can say and help us to remind us of the things that are most important. I actually have this new family reminder as well as several of my family reminders from past years and many of the other things I'm going to be sharing about today in a free morning menu printable pack that you guys can check out down in the description below. And I'm really excited about being able to update this and share these new resources with you guys. So even if you've gotten it before, you might want to go check it out because there's a bunch of new pages that we have been adding recently. So we have these family reminders that we'll go through and we just read through this list. And by the end of the year, the kids have memorized it. And it's things that I hear them saying over and over again throughout their life, even when we've moved on to a different set of family reminders. So I really, really enjoyed this aspect of our menu time. Another big part of our reminders is our truth chart and our emotions chart. So in that free printable pack, you'll find a page that's kind of condensed and it's sort of half emotions, half truths. I've also then grown that into 2 full pages in my feelings pack that has a lot more than just these 2 charts in it that I'll link down below as well that we actually are utilizing right now. One is a whole page full of emotions. One is a whole page full of truths. And so each morning we go through and my kids identify what emotion they're feeling that particular day and what is one truth that they can either pair with that emotion or one truth that they can counteract that emotion. In that printable pack, I have a full explanation of how to utilize this and discussion points and other resources that you can utilize, as well as games and activities and more. So I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but it is something that we utilize and we go through each and every day. So then that brings us to our rotations, our 4 rotations. So the first rotation is a Bible verse. We always try to focus on memorizing scripture. And in the past, we have done a variety of things, a variety of links, a variety of different passages. But this year, I really wanted to focus more so on longer passages. I wanted to focus on memorizing either whole chapters or large segments of that that since my kids are moving into an older age range. We chose ones that were either very, very popular or ones specifically that focused on an area that maybe we could use extra reminders on. So for instance, in August, we are doing Proverbs 3, 1 through 6. And then the next month, we're gonna be doing Proverbs 3, 7 through 12, so that we can finish out that chapter. We're gonna be doing whole chapters like Psalms 1, and then towards the end of the semester, we're gonna do Romans 12, 9 through 16, and then in December, Romans 12, 17 through 21. So like I said, a little bit larger chunks. We have the visuals still with them. This is something that I create. Again, I'll link down in the description below to where you can find these, but I really love having these visuals for my kids. We go through and we just read them out every single day, and then my kids, through reading it out every day, end up memorizing those verses and hopefully hiding those words in their heart. The second theme that we rotate through is praying for the persecuted church. So I want my kids to understand that the church that we attend is just part of a greater body of believers that are all over the world. And there are many of our brothers and sisters in Christ who are being persecuted daily for their faith, that are being beaten, that are losing their jobs, that are having their houses burned down or being displaced or being rejected because of their faith in God. And I want my kids to have that reminder, and I want them to be globally aware and focused on the church as a whole. So because of that, I created free printable worksheets of praying through the persecuted church. I do it once a month, and so with that method, you can actually do 2 years worth of praying for the persecuted church without ever repeating a different area. So I have a page for each of those for this year. Our third area that we rotate through is poetry. So we actually utilize the program, the poetry program from IEW for Institutes for Excellence in Writing, and I'll link that down in the description below. What I love about this program is you buy it once, and it is poems for you to memorize or speeches or other things to memorize, all the way from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. And no matter what grade you start at, you always start at level 1 with the very first poem. We have been working our way through this over the past several years, and we've gotten quite far at this point, and we're hoping to be able to finish it out. There are a lot of great poems, and as you go, it does get a little bit harder, but it's been so good for my kids, both to expose them to a variety of writing, also to work on the skill of memorization. This program actually comes with audio CDs that you can listen to. It comes with the poems, it comes with a tracking chart and certificates, and it comes with a PDF version of each of these printable poems. I actually take those PDFs and I copy and paste them onto one page, and however many poems I can fit on one page, that's how many we memorize for the month. So sometimes it's 2 to 4 if they're smaller, sometimes it's just 1 if it's larger. And so that is something that we utilize. I do not offer those printables on my website because they are based off of a paid curriculum, and I don't want to break any copyright laws at all. So I would recommend going and checking out that program. It is phenomenal and a great value. The fourth category that we rotate through is just general memory work. This is anything that I want my kids to work on memorizing. So it could be things like the 12 tribes of Israel, or who were the disciples. It could be memorizing books of the Bible or more. It also could be things like the US presidents, or we've done the states and the capitals before. We've done things like the Apostles' Creed or the Armor of God. There's a wide variety of things that we have done in this category, but this is really the only category that I truly have to stop and think about, what do I want us to focus on memorizing this particular month, because all those other categories are already set. I've actually included several, not all, but several of those printables that we've used for this category in that new morning menu pack, so you guys can get a lot of those. But a couple of ones that we're going to be focusing on this year is working on memorizing the presidents. We are going to be working on memorizing the disciples. We're going to work on memorizing the Apostles' Creed and several other items. Something I'm trying a little bit new this year. We'll see how we like it. But at the bottom of the page where I have what we're memorizing, I have a QR code. And that QR code, when you scan it, will take you to a YouTube video where there is a song for these items. A lot of time, this fourth category does correlate with music because my kids enjoy singing, and it's a great way to memorize things, and it kind of mixes things up a little bit. But I would always find myself having to search through on the TV or on my phone, trying to find the song each and every time, especially if it's geared towards kids. YouTube doesn't always let you save it to a playlist. list like I used to do years ago. So now I have a QR code that we can just scan, screencast it to the TV or the computer so that we can listen along and sing along. This setup helps to make sure that we're consistent with our memory work. It helps to make sure that we get to those important things that matter most and we have that connection time as a family. And honestly, it doesn't take very long to implement at all. With these organizational tools that I've added in of having them pre-printed and having this organized for the whole year, I'm hoping that it will help as well. And if you want to know more about morning menus, what they are, why you should use them, and some tips and tricks for actually putting them together, be sure to check out this video here.